All right, take a look at this beach, water, and this private island. It's incredible, isn't it? If you had to guess, where would you think this is located? Caribbean, Maldives, maybe even Australia? Well, it's none of these. It's located in Africa. How crazy is that? When Kisawa first opened, the images alone grabbed my attention. I couldn't believe it. Such beautiful white sand and turquoise water was off the coast of Mozambique. And in true Busvizer fashion, I'm always interested in not just luxury, but ultra luxury properties. And Kisawa is definitely a contender. There are a few aspects of an ultra luxury property that always stands out in my mind. One is the fact that it has a very small room count, and secondly, it has no sister properties. Kisawa isn't part of a bigger chain. It is just one of one. Uniqueness, originality, and exclusivity. Those three traits are definitely what ultra luxury resorts are made of. Even from afar, Kisawa just looked like someone's passion project to me, and I think that's precisely what it is. A lot of attention to detail, love, care, and most likely no expense spared. All those factors, plus the fact that it just looked phenomenal, made me immediately want to visit Kisawa. I had to pair it with my safari trip. As someone who's been on many safari trips and visited Africa a number of times, I knew the continent is incredibly beautiful, but getting around can be very difficult. While I was mentally prepared to have a very stressful day in reaching Kisawa, I'm glad to report that it was actually very simple and easy. I left my safari lodge early in the morning, flew into Johannesburg, and after an hour shore ride into Mozambique, it was another 15 minutes of the most fabulous helicopter ride I've ever had in my life, touring across some of the most beautiful beaches and turquoise waters I've ever seen. At $7,000 to $10,000 per night, does this hold up? But firstly, as always, here's a tour of my room. As you step in, you can immediately feel the vast space. But before we get going, if I were actually having company, I would put on a record to set the mood and get going. But follow me to this side, you'll notice the incredible ceiling height. If I had to guess, 15 feet, which is incredible on a private island like this. You can immediately tell that the sensibility of this room has this bit of rustic, but also a traditional modern vibe to it. The sense of design in here is so tastefully done. One of the best I've ever seen at a beach resort. I hate carpets, and this residence, as big as is, all hardwood with some rug on the floor, and that's it. So that's a huge one in my book. All the doors and windows have this gigantic screen, giving the ability of indoor and outdoor living without being swarmed by mosquitoes. Rarely do you see leather chairs at a beach property, but I think this one's done very tastefully. Before we move on to my bedroom, these doors, just fantastic. Solid, glide very easily, and I just love all the thought that went into designing these doors. Moving into my bedroom, just like the living space, gigantic doors, tons of natural light. More design features, all the details in here, the texture. You could tell someone really spent a ton of time in here. I did find the bed mattress to be a bit firm, so for those of you who love Four Seasons mattress like I do, this might be slightly more firm than you're used to. I still slept fine, but good to know. In the bathroom, you have this lovely beam in here that's made from the rope and straws, unlike the living room and the bedroom. So they switched up the design cues a little bit in here. You'll notice that the closets mirror one another. There's identical closet, toilet, and bidet on both sides of the bathroom. Fantastic design. The vanity is made from one piece of stone. I think this is so cool, and it's something that you don't see too often at resorts. Perhaps the feature that most of you guys will love is this beautiful stone bathtub. I'm not a bath person, so I didn't get to take advantage of this, but I can see so many of you guys enjoying a bath here. Now, something I don't like about this residence is the shower. I think the shower is gorgeous, but I've never been a fan of these half glass panels in the shower. You just always have to feel like you're being careful not to splash water onto the floor. That kind of gives you a good idea of what the room looks like here. What can I say? It's just so massive, and there's so many details that really takes a long time to take in. Every time I'm in here, I lay around to relax. I can't help but to find new bits and pieces that I haven't seen before. It's absolutely fantastic that someone took this much time to design this space. I hope you found this interior space as beautiful and stunning as I do. But that's not all. Wait until you see the outdoor living space. As incredible as the residence is, I think the actual star is our outdoor living space and pool. This is where I've been spending a majority of my time on this holiday. Not only does it have a beautiful pool and the beach, what I really appreciate is the spacious outdoor living area is covered, so I can enjoy even in the rain or the sun. Another feature in the outdoor living space is this gigantic dining table that we had. It's a fabulous place for us to enjoy all the meals, especially breakfast. And just behind it is the kitchenette where the butler, Daniel, can arrange different meals for us, drinks, etc. Such a thoughtful design. You guys know I love a good pool. And while this pool had me concerned that it wasn't that big, once you're in it, it's actually quite spacious. The direct access to beach, phenomenal. The sun sets just in front of us. What an incredible setting. And in the mornings, it's calm and we can do paddle boarding. Fantastic. Our butler will set up 2 seats on the beach for us. Really cannot ask for better accommodation and a more ideal setup than this. I do have one small gripe about our residence. At times, I felt like the water in our pool was a bit dirty. So I do wish they would clean that more on a daily basis. The water was circulating just fine, but for all the clients I've booked there, I've already sent note to my friends at the resort to say, hey, could you please ensure that their pool is cleaned extra thorough on a daily basis, and they were happy to oblige. So hopefully you aren't into that problem. Again, not a big deal, but it did jump out to me. I think when you take both the outdoor and indoor space into consideration, now you can get a better understanding as to why there are only so few rooms here at Kisawa Sanctuary, because it takes so much space. I wouldn't say the gym is anything special to write home about, at least the functionality of it. But what I really like about the gym and the spa is that it didn't feel like an afterthought in terms of the design. The design also resembles that of the resort and its sense of place, which I really appreciated. With what they had, they did a fairly good job, and the spa actually is quite lovely. Again, not the biggest spa I've ever seen or the best spa I've ever seen. We'll get the job done. You can definitely relax in there. And they have some beautiful treatments, especially when it comes to sound treatments. It looked incredible with some of the echo chambers in there, which is really cool. But I think for most guests, this will be more than capable. And going back to the size of the island and the resort, it is massive, right? Getting around is very difficult if you want to do it by foot. Therefore, we have these awesome Moke golf carts to take us about. And I have to tell you, this was one of my highlights. These are not your average golf carts. These golf carts can run between $50,000 to $80,000 per cart. Again, I mentioned earlier, no expense spared. The Moke golf carts actually gives the resort this St. Bart's-like vibes to it, which I thought was very fun. And having a Moke golf cart means so you can get to the gym and spa easily. Although I did intentionally take detours to get there. There are 3 main different food and beverage outlets here at Kisawa Sanctuary. The first one being the main terrace, and this one is served as a catch-all. You can have breakfast, lunch, and dinner here, and a variety of different dishes. The view from the main terrace is not to be missed. It is incredible. Sitting there having lunch on a beautiful sunny day with the waves crashing on the shore, it's just incredible. So I definitely recommend the main terrace as a place to go for lunch, but not for breakfast. I'll share why later. Cove Masasa. Wait, is it Masasa? I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. Probably butchering it, let's just assume I am. Nonetheless, it's an all-day affair of drinks and bars. You can go there to get coffee or small plates of fresh seafood. It's very influenced by Mediterranean dishes as well. So it's a fun little place to go to. And speaking of butchering names, let me also butcher Baraka. I think that is the coolest place on the island to hang and dine. It's a beach shack with a bar, and it's the perfect place to dine right after you have the most incredible sundowners on the beach. One of my most memorable evenings at Kisawa was when our butler set up this elaborate and incredible sundowner on the beach for us. It's just something out of a movie. It's just when we thought that couldn't get any better, we got up, took a few steps to Baraka to have dinner. The spot is just really well thought out and set up. And I really like that it's in a completely different location as to the other restaurants, so therefore you get an entirely different feel. The quality of the food at all 3 outlets were good compared to any hotels. As far as resort beach food quality goes, it's very good, borderline impressive, especially when you consider where it's located. All that being said, I do like to point out that there were a few instances where I was a bit baffled. One time I simply wanted a cheeseburger and they didn't have the ingredients for it, which I was surprised. I actually thought the chef was joking at first. I think just due to the nature of being so remote, sometimes they don't get certain shipments in, or if they're not anticipating the guests might want certain items, they will not have the ingredients for it. That being said, the chef instead recommended he will make me a steak sandwich, which was phenomenal. Overall, very happy with the food choices here. Again, just some of the ingredients may or may not be missing during your stay, so definitely let them know well in advance. Lastly, let me tell you why I would not recommend the main terrace for breakfast. The meal I looked forward to the most was breakfast at our terrace each morning. Imagine getting up every single morning, walking out there, your butler's already setting up your breakfast, your coffee, tea. You go out for a dip in the pool or the ocean, come back, and the food is already sitting there waiting for you. Such a fantastic way to start the day. Having this outdoor terrace space is just so phenomenal. Let's talk about rates. I don't usually talk about rates, but given that this is a unique property where it has all-inclusive, half-floor, and bed and breakfast rates, which of these 3 rates would I recommend? Without a doubt, I would recommend the all-inclusive package. Being on a remote island, you're not going to be able to go off property to enjoy meals elsewhere. So therefore, you might as well do the all-inclusive and not have to worry about anything. So make sure you check out the list of what's included and just compare the value for yourself. But I do believe the all-inclusive package is the way to go. Here are a few good to know items I would love to share with you. The first point is something you should definitely keep in mind. I didn't know this until I arrived at the resort, and luckily I was covered. But Mozambique apparently only accepts Visa credit cards. So if you travel with American Express, do not expect to pay that here. Second point, I'm someone who likes to work. Anywhere I go, I'm always working for my clients and for the business, so Wi-Fi has to be good. And I have to say that the Wi-Fi speed here wasn't great. Again, I know we're in the middle of nowhere on a remote island and it's a beautiful place, but if you're someone who has to have great Wi-Fi connection and speed, this could be a problem for you. So just keep that in mind. And point number 3, if you haven't gotten the clue about this yet, it is a remote island, so you're definitely not going off property. There's not much nightlife going on actually at all. So if you want to visit Kisawa, you definitely want to be someone who enjoys relaxing in your own privacy and just quietness. Hopefully you're someone who wants to de-stress and just go to a beautiful island and take in all the views and settings and the stars. So if you're someone who wants to go off property, go to the bars and things like that, you're not going to get that here. So make sure that you are prepared to chill and just relax and enjoy. In conclusion, what do I think about Kisawa? I think it's phenomenal. It's one of the best beach resorts I've visited to date. Now I'm considering recommending it to some clients who may just want to go as a beach vacation without having to go on safari. I've already booked a few clients to visit. I'm so excited for them, and hopefully they'll love it even more than I did. If you're thinking about visiting Kisawa, I hope this review has been helpful for you. If you have any questions or feedback, please drop a comment below. And if you need help booking Kisawa, feel free to reach out to me or my team as well. They're definitely a great partner of ours and work tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure that our clients are well looked after, as I'm sure they do for all their guests. But there's always that extra personal touch when we book our clients at Kisawa Sanctuary. Nonetheless, hope you enjoyed it and found it to be helpful, and catch you on the next one. Cheers. Thanks for watching. If you found this review to be helpful, please consider subscribing or liking to help me make more of these videos. Thanks for watching. Cheers.